Hi you guys, my name is Cherita. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so I saw an article on BuzzFeed and it was titled something along the lines of 13 women who were canceled purely off of sexism. And I'm going through the list and I was like, oh my gosh, this would be an amazing video to make and to talk about during the month of, it's Women's History Month. So like, let's get these women, let's give these women the justice that they deserve. So if you guys are interested in this video, go ahead and keep watching. Before I get started, make sure you click subscribe for new content whenever I post. And also do not forget to click the notification bell so that you are notified every single time that I post a video. So let's get started. So per usual, I'm going to be putting on makeup. However, I'm doing a face full of makeup that was sent to me by Chloe Morello. If you guys do not know who she is, please go subscribe to her. She's amazing. She's phenomenal. It was so sweet of her to send me over makeup. And for that, Chloe, thank you so, so much. Okay, so the first woman or women are the Dixie Chicks. They formerly are known as the Dixie Chicks. They are now known as the Chicks. Okay, so what happened to the Chicks was in 2003, they spoke out publicly against George W. Bush and his invasion to Iraq. And because they publicly criticized, oh, Jesus Christ, held somebody, heaven forbid it was a man, held a man accountable. And when I tell you, they were done. They were actually canceled. And it's because they are country singers. So a lot of their fans have very conservative views. And because oh God, heaven forbid, they criticized the president, people were upset. They treated them like, and by them, I mean media, fans, whatever. They basically told the Chicks to just shut up and sing, as if they have no right to talk about politics or anything like that. They were not allowed to give their views. They were told to shut up and sing. Their songs were taken off the air. People burned their CDs. Oh, this is a thick primer. Okay. Well, there's no turning back. People were burning their CDs as a form of protest, ironically. And long story short, in a couple years, a lot of people ended up agreeing with the Chicks. They were scrutinized for having an unpopular opinion, but that unpopular opinion, it didn't hurt anybody. It was just an unpopular opinion. And because they were women and they criticized a man, for whatever reason, America couldn't handle that. All right. So woman number 2 is Janet Jackson. Now this one, Janet Jackson was in a Super Bowl performance with Justin Timberlake. And as you know, at the end of the song, Justin's song, it said, "I'm going to have you naked by the end of this song." And allegedly, Justin was supposed to just rip off the top part of her shirt or costume or whatever. And literally, we saw a nipple. And this was halftime of the Super Bowl, which is live. I remember watching it, because back in the day when we could have Super Bowl parties and hang out with our family and do family type things. During that, I remember all of us going, oh my gosh. And then the camera panned away really fast. So what happened with this is Janet Jackson was fully blamed for this, and Justin went on to have this amazing, successful career. Now, here's the thing, and a lot of you guys are going to unfollow me, you guys are going to hate me, whatever. Justin is my problematic favorite. He is my problematic fave. Now, do I agree with what happened? No, not like, absolutely not. So a lot of people are saying that Justin did it on purpose, you know, like ripping the whole thing off. I remember at one point, Janet said it was a wardrobe malfunction, something like that. But either way, Janet Jackson, now granted, she's Janet Jackson, so I don't think she was ever canceled. However, all of the blame was put on her for something that Justin did. And so, yeah. And even Janet had gone on a TV show, Ellen, Oprah, Geraldo, I don't remember. But she was talking about this situation, and she kind of like insinuated that Justin never apologized. And you know, Justin went on to have this fabulous solo career, and he's still thriving. I mean, Justin even performed at the Super Bowl halftime again in 2018. Y'all remember when he went to the stands and he took the picture with that little boy that probably didn't even know who he was before then? But whatever, that's besides the point. Anyway, so Janet Jackson never deserved to get canceled. All right, so the next woman that we will be speaking about is Kathy Griffin. If you guys don't remember, Kathy Griffin held up that bloodied mask of the orange man that used to reside in the White House. And I mean, immediately people were done with her. People were like, oh, how could you do that? That's basically threatening the president and yada, yada, yada. Now, I'm not going to say that I agree with it. It looked or felt like a threat. However, Snoop Dogg has a music video. I'm pretty sure it's a music video where he's literally shooting that man, the same man. All Kathy Griffin did was hold up an image that looked like him. It was like a clown version of him. But yeah, Snoop Dogg was not canceled. And I'm not saying he should have been, but if he wasn't canceled, then Kathy Griffin should not have been canceled. So that right there was just blatant sexism. Because if one person can do it and get away with it, and the other person can't, you have to look at what's the difference. What are the differences? And in this case, it had to be a man versus a woman. So the next woman we will be talking about is one of my favorites, Lindsay Lohan. I love Lindsay Lohan. I even purchased her, I don't know how many CDs she has, but I know I purchased one of them, and I used to listen to it quite often. And that was on top of her amazing movies that she's made, like Parent Trap, Mean Girls. Like, Lindsay was giving us what she was supposed to give. But unfortunately, Lindsay suffers from addiction. Lindsay Lohan has addiction problems, and she was mocked so often by who? Men. Late night show hosts. Who hosts late night shows? Men. So I'm going to say it was David Letterman. Letterman. Leonard Ombre. And he asked her while she was a guest on his show, he asked her, aren't you supposed to be in rehab? In what world is that okay? In what actual world is that okay? If she did not go on that show, oh, this is a little deep. If Lindsay did not go on that show to talk about her sobriety, why did he think it was okay? And I'm sorry, but that kind of humor, it's not funny. Lindsay Lohan, when's the last time you've seen her act in a movie or on a show? Her acting career has basically gone down the drain because of her her addiction problem. I feel like I understand she's in the spotlight, but there are so many men who get help for their addiction and they don't go on these shows and they don't get asked, hey, aren't you supposed to be in rehab? They don't get asked those questions. However, for whatever reason, women do. And not only do they get asked those questions, but their careers suffer because of said addiction. It's really sad. Lindsay deserves so much better. The next beautiful, brave woman is Sinead O'Connor. If you guys don't know who she is a singer, entertainer from like, I don't know, like the late 80s, early 90s-ish. She was a guest on, she was like the guest singer on Saturday Night Live in 1992. Again, Saturday Night, what? Live. She ripped up a picture of the Pope because she was bringing light to in the Catholic churches. Did anybody want to believe Sinead? No. What did they say about her? She's crazy. She's psychotic. She doesn't know what she's talking about. People just threatening her because there's no way that these things could be happening. But what do we know now? What do we know now? She was 1000% right. What would have happened if she was actually believed? What would have happened? She was not believed and she was canceled. I mean, how many of you guys, especially the younger generation, how many of you guys know who Sinead O'Connor is? Because she was done after that. Next would be Vanessa Williams. If you guys don't know who she is, Vanessa Williams was the first Black Miss America. So 1984, Vanessa Williams became the first Black Miss America. The second she was crowned, a photographer who promised her that if she posed nude, that, number one, she would be unrecognizable, and two, the pictures would never be, not leaked, but, oh Lord, would never be published. Well, the second she won, those photos were all over the place. Now, and this was in 1994. So this isn't the days of Twitter and hell, the internet, where these pictures were posted, or were leaked to the media, not just some little, Twitter page, Twitter profile, nobody made a TikTok talking about, look, I got her pictures. No, this was leaked to the media. My whole thing is, if she wants to pose nude, let her pose nude. Does that take away from her being a good human being? Does that take away from her being a good role model? No, it doesn't. But she ended up giving her crown away. She ended up giving her crown away because people were just constantly just berating her, and it was really sad. Now, granted, I was born in 1984, so it's not like I know everything, but I still remember growing up and hearing that story. I remember that story. Okay, so next is Amanda Bynes. Now, here's another young actress who, she started out as a child actress, and she fell into drugs, addiction, and there was probably some mental illness going on. And instead of people seeing it as a cry for help, she just became the butt of all jokes. I mean, it was really, really sad. And I'm not 100% sure of what Amanda's mental illness or illnesses are, but when somebody is acting out like that and they have the resources necessary, but people don't take them serious, it's like, clearly it's more than just, oh, they just love to do drugs or anything like that. Yeah, she definitely was canceled for the sake of people not feeling bad for anything that she went through. And now knowing, the ins and outs of Nickelodeon, I know she suffered from childhood trauma. She was exploited as a kid. And then once she was no longer a kid, once she was an adult, and, she didn't know who to turn to for help. So like most childhood stars, she turned to drugs. And whether the mental illnesses were there before or after the drugs, she now is suffering from mental illness. And instead of people literally helping her, she became the butt of every joke. She was deemed crazy. Poor Amanda. I can get behind this. This is Danessa Myricks. This is, okay. I like this. What is this called? Powder. Next is Monica Lewinsky. Now, if you guys don't know Monica, you might be a little too young. But just remember, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. So Monica Lewinsky was an intern for the president in 1998, I think it was. And she was giving blowies to the president. And everybody knows, that he was married. And because of that, now he went through an impeachment trial and everything. And Monica was the one that suffered all the consequences. Now, here's the thing. I don't think you getting like a job from an intern while you're married should deem you irresponsible from running a country. However, this is on the both of them. If you're going to scrutinize Monica, you need to scrutinize Bill just as much, because now, again, a lot of you guys are going to be like, well, I mean, it was wrong on both sides, and it was. However, Monica did not stand before God or stand before all of her friends and family and vow to be with Bill or to be with Hillary or whatever. Bill did that. Bill was the one whose job it was to stay faithful to what's her name, to Hillary. But people wanted to make Monica look bad. Like, get out of here. Please stop, because at this point, yes, it was on both of them. And she was young. She was impressionable. But because she was a woman and a young woman at that, she's the one that got all the flack. I guarantee you, if he was not the president, majority of men, I mean, they did it anyways, but a majority of men would have been like, all right, I see you, Prez. I see you, President. See you, Billy Boy. And they also wouldn't have cared that it was Monica. But I don't know. It's just weird that the president was held, or that Monica was held to higher standards than the actual president of the United States at the time. It's weird. It's weird. Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think that should have stopped him from doing his job, but I also don't think she deserved the backlash. Okay, I'm feeling this bronzer. I don't do powder, I mean cream, but this is nice. So next up is Megan Fox. Now, Megan Fox publicly spoke out against Michael Bay and how she was treated on the set of Transformers. And this reason that I'm about to talk about right now is the reason why people don't speak up. She was mistreated. She spoke out because when you speak out, then hopefully you're saving other people from being mistreated by said person. Instead of people believing her and looking into how Michael Bay treats people, Michael Bay came out right away and started calling her, like a dumb bitch and just all these other nasty, terrible things. And she, if you don't know, she was fired from Transformers 3, and her career has been done. Her career has been done. Okay, wow. Her career has been done since then. And this is why people don't speak out. People always say, well, how come you didn't say anything before? Because when you do say things, you get fired. Or people don't believe you. And I feel so bad for Megan Fox. Can we just admire her beauty real quick? That'd be fantastic. Because Megan Fox is, wow, she's gorgeous. And I'm sure there's other people who have the same kind of, they've been treated the same way. Because people you know, when people show you who they are, believe them. I feel like Michael Bay probably is a nightmare to work with. But Megan was the first person to speak up. And he probably is only a nightmare to work with women. That's what it sounds like. And then the fact that he came back with, oh, she's a bitch and she's dumb. Like, that screams misogyny. So the next time somebody comes out with allegations, you have to believe them. Because people always say, well, how come you waited too long? Or you're just doing this for clout. Clout where? Where's Megan Fox's clout? Because I would like to know. Okay, so this next one is Kelly Marie Tran. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not really familiar with this one. So apparently with this one, it wasn't like a massive cancellation. It was more of people trying to cancel her online, like trolls just trying to cancel her. And so this is important, she is a Vietnamese woman. So she landed a role in Star Wars, which I guess is conventionally white. So it's probably a lot of white viewers. But then heaven forbid you throw somebody non-white in there and people get upset. And that sounds like what this is. Not only her being a woman, but also her being a Vietnamese woman at that. So it sounds like it's a little bit of both racism and misogyny. Apparently the attacks that she was receiving online were talking about her heritage, and they were also talking about her body. I don't know what's wrong with her body, but she ended up deleting her Instagram. I don't know if it's back. I'm sure it is by now, because I don't know how long ago this was, but this is something that I'm probably going to look more into, because now I'm interested. All right, next is Michelle Wolf. Michelle Wolf is a comedian, and she made a joke about precious Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Sarah Sanders is a politician. She is a Republican. The joke that was made wasn't even a bad joke. However, Michelle Wolf was ostracized. Now, here's the thing. We know that, men just don't like women. But, like, when women attack other women, then it becomes like, okay, now which woman do we want to defend today? Sarah Huckabee Sanders, whatever, she is a Republican. So it sounds like a lot of the Republican men who ironically hate cancel culture decided to bring out their pitchforks when Michelle made an innocent, I shouldn't say innocent. It was not a bad joke. A relatively tame joke about Sarah, because she lies a lot. And so Michelle Wolf, said a joke about her lying, and now everybody is mad at her. And she ended up getting, her show was her, what kind of show is it? She has a talk show. She had a talk show, and it ended up getting canceled because of a joke that, she made about dear old precious Sarah Huckabee Sanders. People get talked about all the time when it comes to jokes. All the time. But I guess when you've got old white Republican men on your side, then you're safe from everything. Well, almost everything. So the next one is actually, it's kind of funny, but it's also really sad and really stupid. The next person is Rebecca Black. If y'all don't know Rebecca Black, she sang that god-awful song Friday. But here's the thing, she was 13 years old when she recorded that song. It was a corny, cheesy song. Friday, Friday. That's all I remember about it. And grown adults, talked so much about this kids bop song that she basically went into hiding. Imagine being 13 years old, putting out a song, just whatever, and you have grown adults bullying you online. A 13-year-old girl. How come all these young little boys, didn't Justin Bieber get started at 13, 14? He wasn't bullied. Aaron Carter, he wasn't bullied. None of these kids were bullied. She's just enjoying herself. At least she's 13 and making songs, and not 13 Cash Me Outside. How about that? I don't understand She was in her lane. Adults decided to make a detour and be like, we're going to pick on you. Was the song good? No. Was it hurting anybody? No. So I think she's back singing songs, but that was so long ago. But it's really sad to think that adults just bully a 13-year-old girl for just literally being a 13-year-old girl. And then the last person on this list is Winona Ryder. So in 2001, Winona Ryder was caught shoplifting. And I remember, I want to say, was it Saks? I just remember the video. I remember the video so vividly. But Winona was caught shoplifting. And again, just like, you know, whenever a celebrity goes through something, people start making jokes about it or whatever. Come to find out, Winona was suffering from a mental illness. She was prescribed painkillers, and so she was acting out. The painkillers were excessive, and she was basically addicted to opioids. And I mean, come to find out, the doctor who was prescribing her all these painkillers, because it was in an excessive amount, he ended up losing his license. But instead of people, you know, like seeing this as a cry for help, because again, when somebody does something just out of the ordinary, I mean, it seems like it should be a cry for help. And not only was she made fun of relentlessly. I was probably part of that problem, because this was in 2001. So I was probably like 16, 17 years old at the time. I probably made fun of her. Like, you're rich. What do you need to shoplift for? But now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. And she, you know, took a hiatus on acting for a while. Well, she had no choice, because who was going to hire her at that point? So those are the 13 women who were canceled when they shouldn't have been, and it was all due to sexism. And so I'm going to finish my face off camera, and then I'll come back and we will wrap this video. All right, you guys, here is the final look. My eyeshadow is, hold please. All right, so my eyeshadow is this Elf Chipotle. Again, if you guys know me, I'm literally obsessed with Chipotle. I'm actually gonna have it for dinner tonight, and I'm not gonna tell you how many times I've had it this week. So let me know what you guys think about, first of all, we all know cancel culture is not real. We know that's not really a thing unless you are part of some marginalized group. Because if that were the case, then all of these disgusting people, men, would be canceled. They would not have a platform on YouTube, yada, yada, yada. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think all of these women were rightfully canceled? Do you think that they deserved what they got? Let's have this conversation in the comments below. Now, I know you guys are probably thinking like, well, Britney, well, first of all, we know Britney wasn't canceled, but Gabby Hanna opened up her mouth and was like, Britney was canceled in 2007, and like, you guys need to be careful who you cancel. No, girl. No, girl. We don't, Britney Spears was never canceled. Britney Spears was treated like crap. And people just went along with it because misogyny. And so I did talk about Britney Spears and Gabby Hanna in my live yesterday or the day before, whenever this video goes up. However, I can do an entire video on that situation because Britney was treated the worst out of everybody. So there's that. So that is my video for today. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. Also, do not forget to link up with me on my social media, especially Twitter. All of that information will be down below in my description box. If you guys want more of me, make sure you guys sign up for my Patreon or my membership here on YouTube. Please don't sign up for both because you get the same benefits. And until my next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Give me up, I wanna. Gotta work, go berserk, I gotta. Know you gon' wake up. Know you gotta get your cake up. Don't matter if it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8's my time.